Things that make you go, hmm. November 1998, Bellevue, Washington. We are not at war with the truth, only those who would dilute the truth with lies. Scolding rudeness is now called harassment. Daisies grow in dung. We live in legendary times. The pragmatism of corporate culture has contributed as much as anything to the moral decline of American culture. To feminists, men's personal is not political. Continued automation will mean fewer factory jobs and should mean smaller cities, lower prices, and larger communities. Feminists would have us believe women under the age of 18 are wise enough to choose to have sex, and if they get pregnant, whether to have an abortion. But women over the age of 18 are not mature enough to say no to feminism. Shouldn't we view life experiences on a continuum rather than in discrete blocks of time? By President Clinton's legal definition, women cannot have sex, much like the French who say a woman who forces herself upon a young boy cannot commit rape. When a woman has been wronged and says, "Start helping me," society calls her a victim, and by it means she needs to be protected and compensated and thereby made whole. When a man has been wronged and says, "Stop wronging me," society calls him a victim, and by it means he needs to be ridiculed and shamed and thereby made whole. The National Organization, or NOW, espouses equality. The Backlash embraces equality. NOW espouses diversity. The Backlash embraces diversity. NOW espouses choice. The Backlash embraces choice. NOW espouses principles. The Backlash embraces with greater consistency than do many chapters of NOW. Yet their representatives have consistently denounced the Backlash, that is me. Their denouncements speak louder than their espousals. Clinton's greatest convictions are probably awaiting him. I suspect that Hillary's greatest convictions await her too. That is, if justice is served. Where verbal fights displace courteous conversation, communication decreases, intolerance increases, and only those who profit from anger, hate, resentment, and despair are happy. Feminists agree it would be nice if someday women changed, but they demand that men change right now. And feminism is more about men than it is about women. The left tends to think of people as consumers, while the right tends to think of them as producers. How many women are battered because they're lousy listeners, emotionally distant, or verbally vicious? Bill Clinton is a power slut, and Hillary Clinton and the feminists are power whores. Feminism is one of America's most pernicious and prejudicial social movements. In the feminist paradigm, equality means women work at jobs they love. Only men should have to work at jobs they hate. Everyone is so certain Armageddon is about death and destruction. Epochs end all the time. In the Bible, the word world, is used interchangeably with age or epoch. For one epoch to begin, another must end. Is Armageddon the end or the beginning? The penalties for treating women like sex objects are lower than the cost of treating them with respect, while the rewards for treating women like sex objects are much higher than for treating them with respect. 30 years ago, during the sexual revolution, high school kids nagged and made out at school dances. Now, after 3 decades of feminist-led social evolution, the good girls just do lap dances while the wild ones have sex on the sidelines. Of course, that was 1998. Things are even more different now. My experience in the enlightened Seattle area has been when my writing partner, who was a beautiful black woman, and I would go out, white guys would give her admiring glances, while white women would sneer at her and sometimes go out of their way to snub her. For the Backlash at Backlash.com, my name is Rod Van Mecklin.